Ladies and gentlemen, we are delighted to have Sam Hoekstra here with us. How are you doing today, Sam?
I'm doing great, man. Just got done with a 2 hour private lesson um at my home pool now. It's called William Wagner here in Oceanside, California. It is a lot different than some of the dungeons in West Michigan. I mean, I went to high school at Granville and then coached at
Uh-huh.
Byron Center for a while, and neither pool has windows, so now I'm
Yeah,
Now I'm getting fried outside. My West Michigan pale skin, it's just my neck is like
I
fried every day. So
can see it.
gotta
Yeah.
invest in some good sunscreen.
Yeah.
Well, nice. Well, like you said, he's from West Michigan. Swam at Granville High School. Graduated in 2009. He is a 13-time All-American, five-time state champion, twice. He won the 50 and the 100 free at MHSAA. Or no, did you win it 4 years in a row, or is it just your junior and senior year?
Just junior and senior year. Yep.
Okay. And
But
then in
second your
2009,
sophomore year.
Second my sophomore
second.
year in the 50, I
I
think,
did my
right? Yeah,
research. I think
something like
so,
that.
yeah.
Must have been something like that.
Yep.
Yeah. And then he won the 200 medley relay and the 400 free relay as well in 2009. He was a freestyler, but he did swim the breaststroke leg on their 200 medley relay. So
Yes,
um,
sir.
that was great. And he was also considered the top goalie for water polo at the time as well. So
Yep. Yeah.
cool.
It's fun to think back on. And both being Granville Bulldogs, Mike, it's fun to stay connected with the program. And then, yeah, talked about a little bit being a coach at Byron, um, being right next door. I think, I don't know, especially, I don't know about more fun, but getting to coach and help, the next generation at Granville, you and some of the other guys there was definitely as fun and definitely as fulfilling, maybe more fulfilling. Um, just to stay connected with the program and continue to help it, right? Because when you're done with high school, right? High school is some of the best years of your life for sure. Just really fun and kind of for the for the most part, stress free compared to real life outside of school. It's a good time, but when it's done, it's like on to the next thing, right? But so I found that coaching high school kids, you kind of get to stay connected with that time of your life. And I think it's the most high school and college together for sure are the most pivotal years of your life, right? Like you're just growing and learning so much so fast, um, changing so much. To be able to have a positive influence on that age bracket is, in my opinion, one of the most important jobs and mo most meaningful jobs you can do. It's a little bit like being a teacher, right? I think teachers, for the most part, are probably undervalued by too many people. But the work it's invaluable. You can't put a price tag on it. It's so important.
Yeah. I mean, you definitely had an influence on both of us in our pivotal high school years. Um, Obviously with me at West Ottawa and then Micah when we with Byron Center and club stuff. Um, but yeah, I mean, just moving along with like a little bit about your story. So you swam at Granville. What clubs did you swim at during that time?
So when I swimming took off pretty much like I had a good freshman year, but I was still just super raw, and I didn't start swimming until eighth grade. So like competitively swimming until eighth grade. So freshman year I was just super new. I was just big and strong and athletic, playing all different kinds of sports growing up. So sprinting came natural, and competing. I'm super competitive. So, um, after a good freshman year, for how new I was, it was pretty clear to me and my parents that swimming was kind of the thing that I needed to focus on. And I had aspirations of going to college, being a college athlete, maybe beyond, whatever. I just love sports growing up. It's all I ever wanted to do. So that became the clearest path, in our opinion, to, be a college athlete. So that's when the decision came to start club, take it more seriously, swim year round. Started at Jaws in Jenison because it was the closest option. Um, that went fine. I don't think I connected super well socially with the group that was there. It was okay. And the training, I just remember not to knock, I definitely don't want to knock anything. And this was years and years ago, but um, I don't know. It, it wasn't super engaging at the
Hmm.
time. And so I was looking for something else. Um, the best club team in the area was WMS, which at the
Hmm.
time was a combined program somewhat with Holland and Zealand. They're separate sites, and we stayed pretty much separate almost 100% of the time, except for meets. And so I was a very social guy in high school, so I had friends that swam at Holland, friends that swam at Zealand, and
Oh,
the surrounding areas. So I knew a lot of the guys out there and decided to try that. It was a pretty big, time and financial commitment from my family. So we decided to make that commitment, and it ended up working out really well with the help of Don Kimball. Um, Financially, we didn't have a ton of resources, but you know, they they made it work for me and my family, and that's something that carried on with me um, the rest of my career, especially in coaching. But I don't know, not to get too much into that. And then, my teammates really stepped up and kind of allowed me. I had a good buddy, Mike Heising, who swam at Holland and Hope College, and his family allowed me to live with them in the summertime so I could train full time, mornings, afternoon. I wasn't driving back and forth from Granville and Holland all the time. So it was really kind of a whole team effort to get me out there and make it happen. And that completely changed the course of my career. I mean, had it not been for the help and generosity of, everyone, I don't know that it would have happened the way it did. So, um, yeah, made it out to WMS, which quickly became MLA when I was there. I think maybe after the first year I was there, the team separated and it became MLA and what it is now, under the direction of Don Kimball, who eventually became my father-in-law.
full circle.
Yeah.
It seems like, yeah, I mean, that switch helped you take you to the next level, and then eventually you swam for the University of Michigan your first year, 2009, 2010. I mean, just tell us a little bit about that year. Some accolades that stick out from that year is you swam at the Big Tens, you swam at the NCAAs that year. The 200 free relay, you got a bronze medal with shout out to Tyler Clary, famous
Yeah.
Olympian, was on that relay with you. So that's crazy
I forget
for me to
I
see.
forget that Tyler was on that relay. It's so like because he was not a sprinter, right? So that
Yeah.
that kind of tells you where the program was at the time, right? So yeah, so I was a part of Mike Bottom's first recruiting class. So it was I started in his second year there. So we were the first class that he recruited, right? Him, Mark Hill, Josh White, they were brand new, all brand new coaching staff after Bob Bowman had left. Um, I think he went back to North Baltimore Aquatic after that for a little bit. Um, and so we were all, not all, but there was a huge class talking about uh, cutting roster sizes right now and everything that's going on in the NCAA. We were a class of 17. And so
Dang.
you're not going to see too many of those
No.
anymore.
Yeah.
You're not going to see any of those anymore.
We just saw
Um,
Saginaw had a class of 17. So like it's
yeah,
kind
it's
of
so
Yeah.
big.
in
So
there.
I would say 80% of us, maybe even 90, were 200 and down guys, right? And Bob pretty much recruited all middle distance, two fly, two back, 4 a.m. guys, two free, five free, milers, right? So um, it was like we were two different teams. There were obviously some sprinters, right? There was definitely some sprinters on the team already, but the vast majority of them were middle distance guys and distance guys. Um, so yeah, it was like two different teams. Mark Hill, incredible coach. So Mark and Mike both spent some time. Now you see some my race club gear. They both spent some time down at the race club with Gary Hall Sr., which is who I work for now. So again, another full circle. My life is just like it's just a series of like crazy connections, right? I don't know how it. I don't
Yeah.
know. I think I'm just super lucky. I don't know. Maybe it's not luck, but uh anyway, so Mark ran the sprint group, and it was like a real legit sprint group, right? Which there's every program has them now, but back then, early 2000s especially, not a lot of teams had like they had a sprint group maybe, but it was more like old school sprint style training. Mark was very cutting edge, and Mike too. Like Mark is you know, learned a lot from Mike and even Gary in the race club and all that back then. So, um, uh, they were doing things more like the way they do things now, right? You see programs like uh, ASU and what Herbie's doing and the style of training that they're doing. That's what we were doing back then. So.
Yeah.
Um, it was a blast. It was fun. I mean, it was great, but uh there was a divide in the team, and Mike was new, the whole staff was new, and you have the majority of the team a part of kind of the old guard and the way they used to do things, and we were trying to do things differently and new, and um so it was just like a very interesting time in the program's history. Um and on top of that, I I was never the greatest student, and now I'm at the University of Michigan where academics are a huge priority and extremely difficult. So it was a very challenging first year of college. On top of that, I had never really been in the weight room at all. I was kind of naturally strong and athletic, but no formal weight training at all. So that was another huge adjustment for me. Um, and just being out on my own, like you all know, when you start college, you go from pretty much everything's planned out for you and spoon fed, and then here you go. You got to figure things out, and maybe it was even more so for me. My mom, you know, she helped me a lot with a lot of things, and I love her to death, and she definitely loves me and wanted the best for me. But I had to figure out a lot of stuff for myself, and I'm not the baby of the family. There's five kids in my family. I'm number four, so I was probably babied a little bit too much growing up, and had my hand held. So it was a tough adjustment. But we figured it out. We figured it out, and it took all year. I swam real bad, like really bad for the most of the year. And then we got done with training trip, and literally the week we got back, Mike's like, I think we're just gonna start resting you. And at the time, I had not made the Big Ten team yet because I just was not performing. I was way down the list as far as sprinters go. Um, and so I my plan was to taper for the Ohio State invite, which was 2 weeks before Big Tens, and started taper like mid to end of January, really early. Tapered for about 3 weeks, just refined everything and had a great meet. Went fast enough to qualify for Big Tens, um, to get on some of the relays at Big Tens. Couple more weeks of rest, swam even faster, and ended up making the 200 free relay team for NCAA's with Tyler Clare, which was super cool. But it's yeah, yes, yeah, I forget because he was a 4 IM two back guy, and
Yeah.
we we still needed him on a 200 free relay. But that's going back. That's where the team was at the time. We just didn't have a ton of sprinters, and we had to develop them. And um, yeah, it ended. The season ended really well, and got a great experience from Michigan. Then some things happened in the springtime. Grant, are you frozen?
No, no.
Oh,
I'm
okay.
I'm here.
Maybe
I'm
it's just
listening.
maybe it's just my computer. Um, Academically throughout the year, I definitely had some catching up to do in the spring, so just wanted to focus on that. Missed some practices in the springtime, which you know how it goes. They're all optional, but they're not really
Not
optional,
really.
especially at that level.
Yeah.
And there was just kind of a rift between me and some of the older guys on the team, and they were trying to, especially the juniors that year who were seniors the next year and supposed to be leading the team. They really wanted to try to. We had lost. I'm pretty sure we lost Big Tens that year, which was maybe the first time in a while. So they really wanted to push. They didn't obviously they wanted to be the best in the Big Ten, and they wanted to be the best they could be, and so they're pushing and trying to gain control of the team, and we just butted heads a lot, and so um, eventually they decided that they didn't want me on the team anymore. Um, and so I had to make a decision. Was I gonna keep swimming somewhere else, or was I gonna be done swimming and hang it up altogether? For a while, I really thought, and this kind of relates to some of the kids now, right, that are out there being cut at these big programs. It's like, this is probably the hardest decision that you've ever had to make, right? You thought
Yeah.
you're going to be at the school for the next 4 years, and now all of a sudden you're being faced with, do I stay where I'm at and just swim club if they have a club team, not swim at all? I've spent my whole life, you know, really preparing for this time, the pinnacle of swimming in America. Um, and now you got to choose. It's not easy. Ultimately, for me, I stepped away from a while, stepped away from the pool, focused on my academics. I ended up playing football for a little while. That's a really crazy story.
At Michigan?
Knew some guys. Yeah, I knew some guys on the football team at Michigan. So this was like the Denard Robinson era.
Oh yeah. Uh-huh.
I knew some of the wide receivers, and Denard is like one of the nicest guys, most like down to earth guys you've ever met. Um, anyway, I got to meet him, knew some of the wide receivers because they were like in my hall in my dorm in West Quad, and um, I was just talking to him about potentially playing because I had played young when I was younger. And so they invited me to 7-on-7 workouts in the summertime and lifting. I did weightlifting and stuff with them, which is they lift a lot different than swimmers lift, that's for sure. It's crazy.
Yeah.
Uh, but it was actually really fun. I spent like 2 months doing 7-on-7s with them. Um, they welcomed me in with open arms and just had a blast learning the system, and got to meet the coaches. And at one point my plan was to do open tryouts like end of summer. and then I started to miss swimming a lot. So
Yeah.
Well, yeah. And then we have on here, I mean, you went to Louisville for 3 years after that, then, yeah. That's
yep.
kind of
So while I ended up staying, I didn't make the decision until late in the summer to that I wanted to keep swimming and pursue swimming somewhere else. And so it was kind of I had already like classes lined up and everything for the fall semester at Michigan, and then I started the recruiting process in the fall, but was still at Michigan. So while I was at Michigan, I knew some of the club water polo players, and so I ended up playing water polo um, for a season at Michigan on the club team there.
Okay.
We almost went all the way, but we got Michigan State in the Big Ten championship, and they were the national champs that year, and they got us by one in the
Dang.
Big Ten championship, and then so they went on to Nats and they won Nats, and but that was a pretty awesome experience. The level of even at the club level compared to high school, especially Michigan, is just like a whole different animal. Everyone's good and big, really big, and club. There's no age limit, so you get guys in their upper 20s that are just monsters who've been playing. And
Yeah.
with polo, experience is everything, right? So it's like you get guys that are really experienced still playing club polo. I know like Michigan State had some guys who are I don't maybe even 30 on their team who are just beasts. But that
Yeah.
was an awesome time. And then yeah, transferred to Louisville halfway through sophomore year and just began that whole journey. Um, my wife actually moved down there with me. So at the time we were engaged. We got engaged and married really young. Um, and so we ended up getting married. I was down in Louisville first semester, got married that summer, and then spent the next 2 years down there together. Um, and that was, I mean, some of the most enriching and challenging and um, fun. It was just like the extremes of everything, being a full-time student, athlete, being married, trying to have a social life. I mean, the balancing act of all those things was incredibly hard, but it made me grow so much.
So
Just
you
for
went
all
to
the
Louisville.
listeners, we just got cut off.
We got cut off by Zoom. So Louisville, like super, super turning point, obviously, for you and your wife, and just like awesome t period of time. So focusing on the swimming part of this, your first year, so you came in at the semester, right? And then you started, so you had a couple meets, right? You were training with them for a couple weeks, and then you had Big East.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah,
Yeah.
yeah. So yeah, right into Big East, I was really out of shape. My first day training with them was down on training trip, and I had not swam like the whole fall semester. So I'm starting like they're in their hardest point of the season. I mean, you guys know how hard training trip is, doubles
Yeah.
every day basically. And I was just dying. I talked to Arthur about it a couple of times, Arthur Albiero, the head coach, and it's just like, and Chris too, the assistant. He just was like, dude, I didn't know. Like we saw you train for the first time, and we were like, who? Like, what? This kid is this fast? Like, there's no way. He's like he can't even survive like warm up. But I was struggling hard, but it was great. I mean, got to know the team really fast, obviously, and yeah. Then we only had a couple meets after that, and so just did whatever I could. Managed to go okay at Big East that year. Um, but I don't know if I should have gone to NCAA's that year, like time wise, maybe because I was so new, or they had obviously the whole team was there the whole year. I don't know.
Yeah.
I don't know why I didn't go. I don't know what the decision making process was there, but I do think back to that time, and I don't know if anyone can learn anything from this, but I really wish I had not competed that year and just waited till the next year because in theory, like I burned a whole year of eligibility.
Hmm.
We did win Big East that year. Had I not swam, I think they still probably would have won. I know it's really close, and I did score on relays in the 50 and the 100. So, um, but I think they still would have won. Um, but I really look back and think like, man, if I had just waited till the next year, I would have had another full year of eligibility, another full year of
Yeah.
developing. And for a male, having an extra year is like it's massive, right? It can make a huge difference. Micah, I mean, you're gonna have an extra year, right?
I got 2 years to
Yeah.
go here
We
still, so
we both do.
we both
So
have two
Yeah.
years to go.
yeah.
So
Yeah.
we got a lot of room to go here.
That's always a
And
tough
you guys are
decision.
you're
Like,
gonna keep getting better, but yeah, you wanna get going. But for the male body, like 18 is so far, 17, 18 is so far away from peak maturity, right? So, um, and with recruiting it, I don't know. I've thought a lot about the age of male swimmers in college, and I'm actually writing an article on it right now about gap years and eligibility and all this stuff. So, but yeah, I kind of wish I had waited, uh, because then the next year our team is really the Louisville was just getting better and better and better every year, sending more guys to NCAA's, placing higher finishes. We had through those next few years, we had like multiple NCAA champions, and quite a few different events. And um, if I had another year of eligibility with the team, for sure it would have been amazing.
yeah.
So patience is definitely, I think something that coaches and athletes need to consider a little bit more. Um, and you guys know it's funny because we get these guys and girls from out of the country who are coming in as freshmen because a lot of their high schools go longer, right? And you don't graduate high school until you're 18 or 19. And so a lot of these guys that are coming over from Europe or down south, whatever, um, are usually much older, right? They're starting their freshman year when they're 19, 20, even 21 years old
Yeah.
sometimes. And it's not really fair,
Yeah, I
really. I
know.
mean, because you
Yeah.
look,
We see people on both sides of like the sport who are scoring like top eight at NCAA's. We're like, they're from this country and they're like 26 years old. Like,
yeah,
what's going on? But it's just how it works. And
Yeah.
right, right. So yeah, I'm a big believer. If you're kind of a late bloomer, or you're late, joining the sport late, and you still have so much room to develop, like I think if you can find a system, a good coach, a good club, whatever, and delay the start of your college career by a year, and still, have 4 full years, and you're just pushing that development, um, before you even start, like you're setting yourself up for success. And then that's just the physical side. Mentally, we all know that a 17, 18-year-old kid is not as well equipped to handle the college lifestyle as a 19, 20, 21-year-old kid, right? So,
Hmm.
um, it's just, yeah, it's something that I've thought a lot about because of my unique situation of going from Michigan to Louisville and kind of burning that year. It's really hit home for me. So, um, and then especially you tie it in now to all the roster cuts. I mean, if you think about it this way, you most teams, especially on the guy side, right? Most teams are probably cutting freshmen and sophomores
Hmm.
because, again, typically guys just get better as they get older, um, and they get stronger and just develop more. And so, pretty much every team out there, with the exception of just like the young stud coming in. But those are far and few between, right? Most of your fastest guys are juniors and seniors.
Mhm.
So now you're a high school senior trying to find a spot on a college team, and you're competing against all these juniors and seniors because there's only so many spots on the roster. And so it's gonna get harder and harder. So delaying that start, working on your development, getting faster, putting up better times. If you have a great coach and system to do that in, I really think it would be a huge advantage for you um, to start your college career later, spend more time talking to coaches, find the right fit, more time developing, and then go see if you can find a spot somewhere.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But anyway,
Yeah, I mean, you see that with a lot of guys. Like I don't know how old Josh Leendo is, but he seems like he's pretty old down there, and he's probably still
getting
got
up
like
there.
two more. He's like in the same grade as us, but he's 24 or something like that. But
Yeah,
yeah, and a lot affects
yeah,
a lot of people on our team. There's like there's two people that are from Poland that say they came here at the semester, and there's a guy who just is graduating this year, and like he has a whole nother year to swim, but he's not gonna do it because he finished his degree because he came in early, he redshirted that year, but then he
yeah,
swam 3 years and he still has one more year. But so like the timing with like degrees and stuff like that. It's like something that you people should consider. And I mean, shout out
yeah.
to you because we'll be reading that article to hear more about it.
For sure. Yeah.
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 Yeah, I'm
I guess
excited.
moving
I'm
forward,
excited to
yeah.
dive into it more, and I'm going to be talking to some pretty cool people, talking to more college coaches. I think the push is like, I don't know, it's almost looked down on, like if you delay your recruiting process a year, right? The fear I think for athletes and parents is like, oh, if I don't go right into this, I'm going to be forgotten about, right? These college coaches are going to look over me or whatever, or or maybe I don't get faster, and then I have to explain, well, why did you defer a year, or what, um, or if you had gone into college right away, maybe, right, you would have developed and gotten faster, whatever. I don't know. I think there's some fear there that you're going to miss out on opportunities, right? If you
Yeah.
if you defer and start and kind of join the next year's class. But the advantage with our sport is times are times, right?
Hmm.
And especially if you're a guy and like you're going to get bigger and stronger, if you can take that next 9 months instead of starting the process of recruiting and just really focus on training to the best of your ability and start dropping some big times, like a college coach isn't going to care when it happens. They're going to want you
Exactly.
on their team
Yeah.
regardless. So, um, yeah, I'm gonna be diving into some coaches' minds a little bit more on that and just getting their perspective on it, and then definitely be talking a lot about these roster cuts and how that's affecting them. But yeah, should be a good article.
Yeah. I mean, just kind of wrapping up like college a little bit. You got a couple All-Americans at Louisville, some relays at nationals. One one thing that stuck out to me, Big East champion in the 200 free relay 3 years in a row. So that must have been awesome. Coming back
Yeah,
each year, getting faster. Some of the same guys. I noticed João DeLuca. I follow him on Instagram. Shout out to him. I see a lot of like technique stuff
yeah,
that I've been picking up on from seeing that. But then
nice.
but from your LinkedIn, this is where I got these, so correct me if I'm wrong,
Ooh,
but it says you went straight to West Ottawa to coach right after, right around a year after you finished at Louisville, right in 2014, and then obviously Byron Center and then the race club. So I guess just walk us through that, like how you got started coaching, and kind of like how you switched your mentality, how your career like wrapped up, etc.
yeah, so somewhere like senior year, just it hit me, I was trying to figure out, obviously school's coming to an end. It's time to make a decision on career path and everything. I had changed my major a couple times. Always wanted to be in kind of the like health and human performance space. Uh, and then it was just like a light bulb hit me that I just wanted to coach. I wanted to stay in the sport of swimming and I wanted to coach. So after senior year was done, my wife and I decided to move back home to West Michigan. She's from Holland. I'm from Granville. We moved to Holland, one of our favorite places in the world. And there was an opportunity. I actually technically started at Granville for a season, because Jeff, my high school coach, Jeff Burgess was coaching Granville at the time, Granville girls. So it was just a fall that I coached Granville girls. And then that winter, pretty much close to the beginning of the boys season, I actually moved fully out to Holland and started coaching with Steve Boyer at West Ottawa. And I don't, you weren't on the team at the start, were you? Or were you? Were you a freshman when I started?
I
I think it
was
was
a
winter.
freshman
No.
in the year that we won state.
Yeah.
So if that helps you
So
with the
Oh,
eighteen,
timeline.
18, 19, I think is when we
so
were
you were
both
you were young.
freshmen.
Yeah, you were
Yeah, yeah. You
okay.
joined West Ottawa like right around like
It
the
was it
the
was
Taban
January
era, like all
14.
that kind of stuff. And I
Yeah,
what
yeah,
did you guys
January 14.
place? You had like a second place at state, right? In like 2015 or something like that, and then things just kept
Yeah.
building from there.
Yep.
But yeah. How was that?
Yeah,
How
it
was
was like
watching that over the 10-year span almost?
it was incredible, man. It was incredible. I was working again, love working with high school kids. They're just developing and growing so much. They're like sponges, right? Especially if you can connect with them. Like if you can connect with them, they just like soak up everything you say. And it was it was it was so fun. And they already had a great thing going. And it just became like this perfect combination with Steve and I. He had his system. It was like a little more old school, uh, hard work volume. We were doing mornings, working super hard, and then I kind of brought in a fresh perspective on sprinting and speed and different types of training. And then I was really big on dry land, so I kind of took over the whole dryland program and just helped our kids get really strong.
Hmm.
Especially, I mean, it really on both sides, but the guys kind of took off with it, and yeah, it just became like this perfect combination of the two, and we just had slightly different styles that worked well together, and
Yeah.
you could just see it year after year, and then pretty quickly I got involved with the club team, and we were never big, but man, we were definitely a small, powerful team, and we just had a lot of fun. I know, I know, like Kevin's got his podcast, and he told a story of when he's filmed the swimming stereotypes video, and it was just stuff like that. Like we worked super hard, but we
Yeah.
had fun doing it, and we just we loved each other and we supported each other, and that's just kind of the culture that we developed, um, and you could just see year after year when that stuff starts to snowball, guys just want to be a part of it and they want to push themselves to, it reach the level of the guys that came before them, starting with guys like Taban and Kyle at Moss and I mean that group, and then it just took off. And yeah, like you said, 2019, your freshman year, we ended up winning the Division 1 state title, and that was I mean everything was cooking. The club was working, doing really well and really successful across the board, men and women. And um I would say that's when my coaching career took a turn, right? I was then able to go, kind of had a little bit of a resume, a reputation, so to speak, and um, got an opportunity to take over at Byron Center for my father-in-law. Don Kimball, who was there, and things just kept rolling, and took everything I learned from West Ottawa and from Steve and my college career and just tried to do the same thing at Byron, and um, it's it worked out pretty good.
Yeah, worked
Yeah,
out
I'd
great.
say I built up a good club, and I had a great couple years with some state teams there too. I love swimming at with all those guys over there, and I mean it was a fun time, and I'd go to Byron Center every time over that span a couple of years. So it's I wouldn't choose anywhere else to go. So
Yeah, we tried to keep the door open, right? Like it was just like, hey, come if you want to come train and have fun and be around a supportive group of people. Like that's what it's all about. It's not we're not trying to be, better than anyone. It's just how can we be our best selves and then support each other, right? And that's I think when you focus on those things, it's really the recipe. I don't know, maybe. It
Yeah.
seems like the recipe for success.
I feel like yeah, like it goes just like farther than just like the swimming connection. I think a good example that I could think of with you, you might not even remember this, but when my brother swam on West Ottawa with you for 2 years, so he swam and they had like the conference meet at Grand Haven and then the conference meet at EK. So it was like 2016, 2017. And like just like as a life coach, like this is something he'll always remember. Like you and him sat down and you had a conversation at practice and he was like man, I don't really, enjoy the practice. Like I'd rather just, he's a musician. He said he'd rather be at home, learning guitar and you looked him straight in his face, like man to man as a coach, as a swim coach who, you're a swim coach, you want to see him do well, but you were like you do what you want to do. You do what makes you happy and what you love. And like that's something that stuck with him. He told that to me, it stuck with me. And I just think that just shows that, like coaching is so much more than just the connection with the sport that you're doing. It's a real long-lasting life connection. And I'm glad that, you're around and you
Yeah,
were able
like
to share that.
yeah, that's a I do vaguely remember that conversation. I love coaching your brother. He always had, I mean, and he chose the right thing, right? He's an
Yeah.
extremely gifted musician and he's doing really well with that stuff, right? So yeah, it's just finding your passion and like not the sports swimming is just it's just a catalyst, right? To figuring out what that is. Like it teaches you a lot of amazing things, life skills, hard work, commitment, like um time management, being a great teammate. Like it teaches you all these great things for the next thing, right? And when none of us are gonna be professional swimmers, like literally 1% of 1%, right? It's like um but yeah, it's just if if it's all about swim, if you're a coach and it's all just about how can I make these kids as fast as possible and that's it, like um you're missing out on a lot.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah.
yeah, for sure.
so
So yeah, you were at Byron Center till just just until 2025, and then opportunity opened up at the race club there in California. How's the transition been? What are you looking forward to about continuing to coach in Cali? And other than that article that I'm definitely going to be reading, what else can we look for you in the future?
Um, so the race club, yeah, just is an opportunity that came up organically. Like it's again just through kind of past life experiences and connections. For me, I'm very like growth oriented, and I still feel like I have so much to learn and develop in my coaching abilities. And so it's something as a head coach, um, you have a lot of other responsibilities, and it's hard to focus like on your personal development. You're learning obviously as you're coaching and writing sets and season planning and doing all these stuff, right? Um, but there's so much pulling you away from your personal development and knowledge. And so I always felt like I learned a lot from Steve. Um, but going right into high school coaching and then club coaching, I didn't get that like long-term mentorship that a lot of college swimmers that get into coaching, typically they become a grad assistant and they're around these like big, you know, fast programs or whatever, these D1, D2 programs, and they're learning from these coaches who have so much experience and they're spending the time on deck with them every day. Um, I did get a little bit of that with Steve, but I still feel like I have so much more to learn. And so this opportunity to come out here and work with Gary Hall Sr. and just learn from him, and he's been on the cutting edge for so long and have has taken a very scientific approach to everything that they do and teach here. I was just like it for me and my personal development. I'm 34. I still have a long coaching career ahead of me and so much to learn. Like I need to go after this and just learn as much as I can from him. And he's not going to be or he's getting older, and it's not like I mean he's not going anywhere yet for sure, but like um these guys that are in this sport, these figureheads that have led these teams to championships and coached these Olympians, right? They're only around for so long, and like we need to learn as much as we can from them. And so I just really wanted to come out here and learn as much as I could, and then hopefully that'll help me with the rest of my career, whatever that looks like. If I'm here at the race club, it's so far it's been incredible. It's a lot different than just like traditional team coaching. We run camps, we do privates, we do online coaching, we're producing technique videos. Everything is all technique and science based. Um, and so it's a lot different than what I'm used to, and it's really getting me outside of my comfort zone. Obviously, being in California is incredible compared to Michigan. Just sitting outside right now, it's beautiful, it's sunny, and so it's just another chapter and different for my family, getting them out here and away from home, out of our comfort zone. I really believe that that's the best. That's always been the way we've done things is like if you want to get better, if you want to grow, you got to go out and get it. Like you got to seek that thing that's going to challenge you the most. So that was a big part of the move, and I'm excited. I don't know what's next. I think, well, I know I'm going to be starting a podcast for the race club, and we're going to have on awesome guests. We're going to be talking about technique and how to continue to make swimming better.
Nice. Well, yeah, you started mentioning about how there's a little bit of differences between what you're used to. What are the biggest differences between the West Coast and the Midwest when it comes to how swimming is approached, and if training is approached any differently out there than it is in the Midwest, or
I
if
wouldn't
that's not really something that's
Yeah, I wouldn't say I'm like fully equipped, having only been here for maybe close to a month now. I'm not fully equipped to answer that on behalf of the West. But I would say um, I think I think there are a lot of great programs and coaches doing a lot of great things in Michigan right now. I think things are we're producing some pretty high level swimmers and but for sure out here, like it's just bigger. Everything's like bigger out here. There's more people, right? There's more swimmers,
Mhm.
there's more coaches, there's more clubs. It's just like even where I live in Oceanside, it's like a little beach town, but it's like there's so many people, right? So I think just the scale is bigger, and so I'm really excited to get more like entrenched into the swimming culture out here and meet more coaches and get to know the athletes more and um yeah, see what I can do to help the West Coast.
Yeah, I guess that makes me wonder what's like what you said you're doing a lot of different stuff right now. What's like your main focus over there right now? You said you just came from a private lesson. I mean, you can tell us how that
Yeah,
was
so
as
we
well.
do
Like
camps and privates are kind of the big thing. We're really growing our online coaching. We have one of the most extensive like, video libraries out there. with just incredible videos, very well produced, easy to understand, all focused on technique and just how to make you a better swimmer. Um, I'm gonna be focusing on kind of the dryland side of things a lot more, developing kind of a whole program around that we can offer people. But I'm gonna be, yeah, hopefully getting more online clients, trying to help people all over the world. We do work with clients from everywhere, all over the world, so that's really cool and new and different for me. Like our swimming world in West Michigan is so small, but yeah, it's fun to make it a little more global. And so yeah, just working on developing those videos and helping people, as much people as I can. Are we running low on time again?
I don't
No, we're
I don't
not
think
down to
so.
the timer yet. I don't think it's gonna
Okay.
when I'll let you know when it says 10 minutes, it's gonna say up in the
I
corner.
do I do have another client at one, so I will have to go pretty soon.
Okay,
Okay.
okay. Yeah,
All right,
well,
well then we'll get into some more fun talks then. I mean, we got NCAA's coming up next week, D1s. There's a lot of stuff
What do
that
you
could
mean it's
happen.
happening right now?
Well,
yeah,
the
What's
women's,
going
of
on
course.
right
women's.
We were
now?
just watching that. We were talking about Gretchen Walsh's
Incredible.
50 and 50 fly, 50 free. I mean, just a
Yeah.
crazy fast swimming on both men's and women's side. So,
Yep.
um, it's
Yeah.
been awesome to watch. So I'm definitely keeping up with it. Got my ESPN Plus subscription going. Got it
Good.
running whenever I'm at school or well, maybe not at school, but at home probably. So, um, but no, it's good. I mean, what are some more times that you've been thinking about might be possible or that's happening or any fun races that you're looking forward to in the next couple days or week here?
Oh, I mean, everything is just so fun to watch right now. Everything that Gretchen is doing is incredible. And and that's one thing when I was a high school swimmer and even a little bit in college, I didn't really pay attention to like the greater world of swimming a whole lot. Obviously, like the Olympics and Phelps was doing his thing when I was in high school, but um it's so easy now to pay attention and to know what's going on with social media and everything. So I just encourage every young swimmer to just get involved and watch it. It just opens your mind to the possibilities. And so I personally too, I'm just watching to see if I can pick up anything. Oh, they're doing that maybe a little different and I think uh on the men's side, yeah, to see how, yeah, obviously ASU going through, big changes with Bob going to Texas, and to see how they respond. They've, in my opinion, have responded extremely well. Herbie
Hmm.
at the helm now. They're doing incredible things this season and doesn't seem like they've lost a step at all. Um, I think the next thing that I would be excited to see is like a 200 free relay that has all 17s on it.
Hmm.
ASU put up two 17s, but they technically got DQ'd, so it doesn't count, which I think is a little BS looking at those exchanges.
Yeah, we saw the video.
Um,
Yeah,
yeah,
we saw it. Yep.
yeah. So I like that would be really cool. I don't know, just um yeah, it's just all super exciting and fun to watch right now. And if you're just missing out, right? If you're not paying attention at all as a young swimmer, like you're missing out, man. It's so fun.
Yeah.
For
Well,
sure. Well, we mentioned about you mentioned about the roster cuts a couple times. How is it? How are you seeing it being how is it affecting the swimmers out there in California? And what are you seeing that's just it's unfortunate, but what are you seeing from a coaching standpoint? And coaches you've talked to, what are they discussing and talking about?
Um, I think unfortunately more programs are going to be cut. Cal Poly was already cut. I think we'll see a lot of kind of mid majors being cut because they're trying to compete with the big dogs, right? And they need every dollar they can muster, and they don't have quite the support as some of these bigger schools have. So I don't know. I'm definitely not the probably the best person to talk about it. I'm not completely into college swimming, but um like yeah, there's going to be a trickle down effect. It's going to get more competitive at the D2 and D3 level,
Hmm.
and
Yeah.
people are going to have to make really tough decisions. And just say lean on your coaches and believe in yourself, and ultimately do it for fun. Do it for fun. So, do it because you love to do it, and don't just do it to for the status, or you maybe had these like dreams since you were a kid to be a D1 athlete. There's so many more better opportunities out there. I could see club swimming like into your college years becoming more of a thing. Maybe we're going to see more pro teams, more pro groups. Um, just high level swimming, I think maybe move away from college because there aren't as many opportunities, which I don't know. I don't know if that'll be a bad thing or not. Like,
Yeah.
um, I think when change happens, drastic change like this happens, obviously the mind wants to go to the negative, but I think we always have to look for the positives, right? And I think there could be some positive here.
Yeah. I guess, well, just wrapping it up a little bit. We really appreciate having you on, by the way.
Yeah, thanks.
But I want to ask you, what's like one thing that would come to your mind? You've already left a ton of wisdom here, but what's one thing that comes to your mind that you want to leave for any swimmer that's watching this that, I don't know, wants to level up or keep it going? What's like your best advice that you would give?
Oh man. Um, yeah, go after what you're passionate about. If you're not passionate about anything, keep trying new things. There's something out there for everyone. Um, and even if you're not like an extrovert social person, it's all about people, man. Like find those connections, hang on to the ones that you connect well with, and keep yourself open, right? Like again, going back, my life is just full of like all these like crazy connections that I've had with people, and I've gotten so many opportunities and fun experiences, just because of people that I've met and have put myself out there, right? To meet. So, I mean, I have 100 stories I could tell you, but just keep yourself open, keep your mind open. Um, I'll say this too. I'll end with this. Don't rush to have like strong opinions on stuff. You can stand for what you believe in, but um I don't know, just the way that the world is these days with politics and with social media and all the fake stuff that's out there and AI and all the information that's coming at you, like um don't be so quick to like have such strong opinions in something, and definitely don't be so quick to identify with things. Like know who you are, right? Learn who you are, but um and what drives you, but stay open. Just keep an open mind. um and kind of look at things from a 10,000 foot view. I think that'll serve a lot of people well. It's definitely helped me. So
All
anyway.
right. Well, thanks for giving us your time here for this probably was like an hour-ish worth of
Yeah,
time, maybe a
We
little
only got
less,
three
but
minutes left.
we got 3 minutes left here to wrap it up. So
perfect.
um,
Perfect.
thanks for coming with and talking to us. This has been an absolute joy, and we're glad to have got you on here. I I
Yeah, man,
just
for sure.
that's it. Yeah.
Yeah,
We'll have to
we'll
do
have
it
you
again
again
sometime.
anytime. Yeah,
Yeah,
Yeah, yeah,
let
for
us
sure.
absolutely.
know.
Let me know if you want any specific topic. We'll cover it for
Yeah,
sure.
yeah, and
Love
we'll
to.
be looking out for, some articles you're gonna be working on and the Race Club
Yeah.
podcast. Big
Yes,
things are
sir.
coming, and yeah,
Yep.
all the viewers, stay tuned.
Yeah, you guys too. You take care. Keep doing what you're doing. You had an awesome season. Keep it up. Work hard.
All right, thank you.
All
Bet.
right. See
Bye.
you guys.